So let's understand what is a Logstash before we jump in. Logstash is a utility or a tool which helps to connect with a different source and transform the data, filter the data, like whatever format we require, and push it into a different output store. See, if you carefully understand, I never say that it's only push the data to Elasticsearch. Logstash can work with a different output system, like it can work with a file system, it can work with Kafka, so it can work with Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is one of the output connector in the Logstash. Clear?
Yeah.
So, like to understand about the Logstash, I would say it's kind of an ETL tool. So you understand the ETL tool, right? What is the ETL tool? The ETL tool stands for extraction, transformation, and loading, right?
Yes.
So the word extraction I am trying to define here is it can hop into a different connector or it can connect to a different subsystem. From different subsystem, it can collect the data in a real-time basis and it can able to process it. So that is about the extraction phase. So let us see the what are the different kind of what is it called, the systems we have. Like broadly, Logstash is divided into three components. One is something called input, filter, and the output. Is nonetheless what I'm trying to say is the extraction, transformation, and the loading phase. Clear, right?
Yeah.
So on the regarding the input part, to have a holistic view, if you see on the left hand side, you are able to see the picture of the Apache log and the mail log. So it can collect the data from these two subsystems and able to send the data to the filter to extract some kind of critical information and able to send it to the output system. So now let's understand what are the different kind of input systems are available with Logstash. Maybe that 1 second. Yeah. So now do you see the Logstash plugin over here, right?
Yes.
So if you see the different types of input plugins available, you get to see the file, IMAP, JDBC, standard in, Amazon S3 bucket, system log, TCP, Twitter, UDP. So these are the available plugins with the Elasticsearch. Clear, right? So
Yeah.
what that it means is you can connect to these different systems just by configuring the Logstash. Like we have understood with the Python programming, where we connected with the CSV file with the help of Python, right? Similarly, if we want to do the same operation without any coding part, then the Logstash is a kind of handy tool. Clear?
Yeah.
Now, if you are able to see my screen, I am open the page called Input Plugins for Logstash. If you see that these are the different type of input plugins which you available from the Logstash. Almost like all famous connectors are available with the system. Like it can even read the data from Amazon S3, or it can even read the data from RabbitMQ, Kafka server, Log4j, and all sort of stuffs, whatever comes to your mind. Everything is being displayed over here. Hope you can see it here, right?
Yes.
So these are the different systems what you can connect with the help of the Logstash. Now you are clear with the input plugin, right? What is the input plugin in the Logstash?
Yes, sorry.
Great. So coming to the next part, like second part of the system is the extraction phase or the filter part. For example, assume that you are working in a centralized logging system. Assume that you are taking the database logs from different systems. So for example, I am creating a hypothetical case wherein which you have a multiple database having that you have SQL server, you are MySQL, and have a Postgres server, and all of these servers are situated in different countries. Now your goal is to create a centralized logging facility for your operational team. If you are doing such operation, then you should be very clever enough to do kind of pre-processing step to make pre-processing look in a much better way. Let's understand what are the pre-processing steps we have to look into it or understand before we jump in. For example, if you work with the US time zone, the time zone is the first important factor. You understand, right? In US there will be a different time zone, and in India there will be a different time zone. Like the operation team, if they want to troubleshoot it, if they don't have a common timestamp, do you really think they'll be easy for us to understand the timestamp or the log message from the database log?
No.
So the first activity is general with almost all different kind of log is the timing is being you have to transform into a common timestamp. That is the first crucial thing. And again, the other type of transformation which you are involved with, again, all sort of logs will have a different date timestamp conversion. If you just go and look on the SQL Server timestamp, I'm just opening a SQL Server timestamp format. Let's see how it looks like. This is the standard format in which the SQL timestamp actually emits it. So if you look onto the MySQL, they start with the month, year, and the month, day, and the year. But if you think of Postgres, they may have a different format. Even though some servers are in the timestamp, the way by which the time is being expressed is quite different, right? That makes the problem more critical and more challenging here. Clear?
Yeah.
So if you want to deal with those kind of transformation, if you want to transform into some standard format, then filter is the right option. So if you see like lot of filters are available here, which is the CSV filter, and all of the transformation related to the date timestamp comes over here. And again is the other drop. Like if you want to drop a particular column from a file what you are processing, you can use the drop. And grok pattern helps to extract a different pattern from the system. For example, if you want to extract a different kind of pattern from the system, like for example, if you want to extract the what is it called, a particular piece of line from the text file, or if you want to extract all the phone number from the system, then grok pattern would be used over here. Then you have the range and translate. So these are the different options. Let's see the broader view of what are the different kind of output in the filter plugins are available here. Filter plugin, yeah. Can you see here, right? You have something called aggregate, alter, bytes. So byte is again related with the memory thing. Like if we have the reading the data over the memory, again memory can be represented at different units, right? Some would express in MB, some would express in GB, few might express in bytes. If you think of the server logs like Apache log, you might have seen the what is it called, the amount of byte being transferred. Have you seen those kind of information in the Apache server log, Vinod?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, if you want to make those kind of common transformation, again the bytes will be really helpful. So all sort of transformations are available with Logstash. Only thing is we have to identify what kind of transformation we are looking to it, and we may have to configure it accordingly. That is very important. If you configure it accordingly, then we will be able to extract the critical data from the given information. Clear, right?
Yeah.
And then comes the output plugin. Output plugin is what kind of a different store it can emit the data back to us. For example, if you want to emit to a CSV file, or if you want to trigger an email after a given alert, let's say if you observe a certain anomaly pattern, and if you want to generate the alert or email, yes, you can do it with the help of Logstash. Or else what we can do is you can configure like multiple output source. Like parallelly, you want to index the data into Elasticsearch, as well as you want to create some backup data into Amazon S3 bucket. That is also valid. So you can configure like multiple output source with respect to of Logstash, and it's not like it's only related to Elasticsearch. Like you see a different output source, right? All of these output source are being supported as part of Logstash. So it's like a kind of general tool what you can use it for the extra ETL purpose. Clear, right?
Yeah.
So have you heard about Amazon S3 bucket and all, Vinod?
No hurry.
Okay, it's kind of like a normal hard disk, but it's in the cloud level. That is all the difference over here. Like Azure people, they call us a data lake, but in the Amazon stuff, they call us the Amazon S3. That's all the difference. Nothing much. Clear?
Yeah.
Great. Can you see the sample configuration here, right? This is how the sample configuration will look like in the Logstash, you know. I'll just give, anyways, I'll show you the hands-on part, but try to get used to the syntax and all. It looks very simple, right? You just configure the output source, you just observe the output source along over here. Here they just mentioned what is the port in which they connect and what is the host you through which you connect and the query and the type. If you specify all this information, it will be able to store the data into the respective index. You remember, right? This is what we did in the Python program too. Python program, we have initialized all the variable, like a variable declaration. We'll also have to configure the properties over here. Clear?
Yeah.
Great. And can you understand something from this configuration here, Vinod?
So we are trying to read the data from CSV file and starting from the word beginning, and also we included the path. I mean, like we added the path, that particular
Yeah.
file.
If you closely think of this configuration, can you relate with our CSV example here, right? We are given what is the output path in which we are operating upon, and we have said that include all the file, exclude the .gzip format. If you go into the log folder, you might have seen the .gzip compression format, right? Where the format would have been compressing or the log will be archiving after a certain point of time. We are just saying index all the file is being generated in the system except the compressed file. You're clear, right?
Yeah.
Except the compressed file, we are able to index the data, and we are saying start from the starting location, and the type relates to what is the type. The type is something like a bookmark or a ID, so it helps us to transform it. Like again, you can configure like multiple input source. Like the beauty of the Logstash is you can have like multiple input source, you can have like multiple filter, you can have like multiple output. So system itself will be in a generic fashion. For example, if I said an example, right, if you are collecting data from MySQL and if you're also collecting data from Postgres, you can configure these two settings at the same place itself, in the same file itself. By configuring it, you will be able to tap in the information. After tapping it, all the tap information can be processed by Logstash and it can index into the Elasticsearch. Clear, right?
Yeah, Hari.
Great. Can you see this example over here, Vinod?
Yes.
The input in the input itself is a JDBC. Instead of reading from a file and other stuff, now I'm planning to read from the table itself. So I can configure a given table. From that table, if I want to periodically collect the recent data and have to index in the system, that is also possible. So what happens on this connector is like it keeps on collecting the data and it keeps ID like what is the last process record or last process record or the last process row. So from that point, it'll keep on incrementing. Let's say you have like 1,000 rows and it keeps on building up. So on the first iteration, I'm able to do it from scanning from 0 to 100. In next iteration, I'll be able to scan from 100 to 200. Likewise, if I keep on going, if there is no record for a while, I'll be waiting till the new record has been processed. On a periodic interval, the Logstash will be tapping the input source to see whether there is any new data or not. Clear?
Yeah.
And you see the Amazon S3 bucket, like this is about the cloud one. Like if you have worked with the cloud setting before, you might have something called token and the key. So by configuring it, you'll be able to access the S3 bucket on the whole. It's like simple the file system. Instead of the username and password, we may have to give the key and token. That is all the difference. Sometimes if you want to read the data over the TCP protocol, sometimes it binds over a particular port, and that time we can use the TCP stuff. And UDP is widely used in the gaming part if you don't want to ensure that the data is to be transferred without any loss. So sometimes people use the UDP. Now this example you must be able to understand, right? Can you try to relate this example here?
Yeah, Hari. So we are reading again, I mean like a CSV file data. So
Okay.
from the column names, I mean column 1 and column 3, column 4.
Okay, if you fairly remember the example we did in the Python program, we have configured the path from which we have to collect the data. That's the first step. That is comes under the input part. Now we have ventured into something called filter part. The filter part wherein which we transform the data. By transforming the data, we will be able to extract the critical thing. Like assume that if you have like 10 columns in the system or 10 columns in the file, by taking all the 10 column, if you want to transform it or if you want to index in the order in which you want to have it, those kind of transformation will be done on the filters part. Clear, right?
Yeah.
Other type of filter you see on the date. If you carefully see the date timestamp, you are just marking with the date timestamp. Like why? Because they say with the month in month, date and hour, minute and second. This is the timestamp in which you send the data to Logstash. So whatever data you send the format, if you clearly express the output format through which how you operate, Logstash will try to convert in the Unix timestamp, because Unix timestamp is the format through which the system accepts Elasticsearch can able to convert to a different timestamp. So by internally, whatever timestamp you store in Elasticsearch, all the timestamp would have been stored using the format called the Unix timestamp, through which only it will be able to accept it. Clear, right?
Yeah.
Great. And you see something called filter drop, where in which if you want to drop a particular column or if you want to drop a particular log data, you may have seen the different types of log level in the file, right? Info, debug, warning, and error. You might have seen the different error logs, right?
Yes.
For example, there's a case that you have to skip all the debug log. You want to have only the warning log. That can't be controlled in the application. Let's say if you are collecting the data from the log system, which can't be controlled by your production team. So let's say they want to have the debug log, but for indexing, they're asking you to skip this information. Then you can control those attribute in your extraction phase or the filter phase, where you can say that you collect only the debug level or you collect only the log level. By configuring it, you can create the system such a way that you collect the respective level or the data which you wish to collect. Clear?
Yeah.
And the range part, for example, assume that you have the data coming into your system, and that data collects timestamp. Let's say the request timestamp comes to 0 to 10, and if you want to add a new tag to it, adding new tag is in sense, if you want to say that 0 to 10 comes under the short and 11 to 100 the medium, if you want to have to transform the data into a different stuff altogether or different column altogether, yes, those kind of transformations are allowed over here. And the important part of the grok is the important part of the filter is the grok, because Logstash can't provide the support for all the different kind of logging format in the world. So they try to support you with using the grok pattern. You may have used the grep command, right?
Yes. Yes, Hari.
The equivalent of the grep command in the Logstash is the grep pattern, Vinod. So you can write all the grep command patterns here. The grep command patterns are nothing but the regular expression pattern. You can write all sort of regular expression pattern in this system, through which you will be able to accept the data, or you will be able to transform it, massage the data, and you will be able to transform it. Clear, right?
Yeah.
It might, on the first attempt, it might look like a super weird one, but you can able to understand. It's kind of easy, but you have to have the patience here. Do you see this, right? This is
Yeah.
the sample line. I need to pass it. This is like the Apache server log. You see, right? First is the IP address. Next is the HTTP verb and the output location, and number of bytes is being transferred and the duration. Clear, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to write output pattern for it, do you see the output pattern, the grok pattern for it? Does it make any sense for you?
Not really. So I mean, same thing we are giving it, right? That sample lag entry instead of giving numbers, we are just describing here, right?
Yeah, we are describing here how is a system is able to identify the IP address from this part. If I randomly give this text to you, if I ask you to extract the IP address, how do you accomplish it? You understand my question?
No, come again, Hari.
Let's say I give you a text file with the random IP address in the text file, and if I ask you to write a grep command to extract the text file, how do you extract the IP address from the text file?
So first, I need to navigate to that folder, that text file folder.
Okay.
Okay, and then we need to use that grep command, and we need to provide the IP for that particular IP address.
How do you provide the IP address? If I have like different sort of IP in your file, if I ask you to extract a different type of IP address file, how do you accomplish it? You understand my question, right?
Yes,
Or
yes.
let me make my example much clear. If you want to extract the phone number from the bunch of contacts, let's assume that you have a free float text. In that free float text, I see there are a lot of phone numbers for me. If I want to extract all the phone numbers from me, how do you extract all the phone numbers from a text file?
So using that grep command, let's say grep space, and we can give the IP address, and then that pipe symbol.
That is fine. I'm asking about the how do you write the pattern for it? Grep is the tool is fine. We have to write the pattern, right? How do you invention the pattern, or how do you think of the pattern? Can you list on few example pattern which comes to your mind, Vinod?
Sorry, a pattern in the sense, what is that pattern, Hari?
The grep command, Vinod. So you would have
Okay.
written the grep command earlier, right? What sort of grep command you have written in the past?
So
So like, what is the example you have used grep pattern before, Vinod?
So usually I use that grep command to check the logs. Let's say if I want to log in, if I want to check logs based on particular service, so I used that grep command.
So what kind of how do you what type of command do you specify in the grep? Can you use an example?
Actually, I didn't remember exactly, Hari.
Okay. Okay, fine. Let me just show you the how it looks like. Okay, I'll just open the sample for the grep command. Do you understand this pattern, Vinod? Hello? Hello? Vinod, can you hear me?
Yes, Hari.
Can you look this pattern and do you understand what is the pattern is about?
Yeah, Hari. So that is fetching hello world from the file one.
Yeah, to be very precise, so the line which starts, the caret symbol indicates that it's a start of the line. That is very, very important. And while the dollar is the end of the line, if you see the dollar symbol, that
Yeah.
indicates the end of the line. And if you see something called A to E within the bracket, so whatever the characters from A, B, C, D, E, all the characters are included. That's what you see here, right? A, B, C, D, and D. So whenever you see a square bracket, that indicates a group. Clear, right?
Yes, Hari.
Now, can you explain this part? Now you should be able to explain what is it about. Can you explain this one?
So for we are fetching the
What is a caret symbol does for us?
that starts with letter A.
If the line, any line starts with any part, now we will be able to accomplish it. That's what it indicates. The difference is if you have the caret symbol before a character, then it says that you have to go for a starting character. But if it's there inside it, you just say you should not have the content. It goes to a not null condition, something like vice versa. It will be changing on. And do you see this pattern, right? 0 to 9. It'll try to match all the number which has a starting digit. That's the whole idea. Clear, right? And
Yeah.
I stands for case sensitive. Like you can check with the uppercase or logarithmic. It's a case insensitive search. That's how the hello part. Now I'm just opening the Logstash pattern, and I'm just showing you the IP address. You see the IP address or IPv4, right? Can you see something like here?
Yes.
Whatever pattern we wrote sometime back earlier in the what is it called, the Logstash, we saw something IP, right? All the IP meaning has been encoded already for you over here. If you want to look on the HTTP verb, or if you want to look on the email address, you see the email address here, right? So already some people have written the email address for you to how to search it effectively. So the patterns are already existing in the grok pattern. Only thing you should know able to arrange it properly. If you carefully look on the pattern over here, do you see this IP address, right? So IP is already present, and this is the column name or the field name in which you want to index the data. See, you have this bunch of information. Whether do you want to store this column or this piece of information IP address or the client information, it's up to us. Similarly, if you want to extract the thing called the word, let's see how the word looks like over here. Do you see the word over here? Example for the word over here, right?
Yeah.
So here they said the B stands for a word boundary, and slash stands for any character, and B stands for again word boundary. I'll just show you the pattern matching how it's done. For example, I may have something called I like France, I like India. If I want to extract the word called I, if I just give the pattern, I'll be able to find the pattern. You see, right? Only I is been described over here. Now let me make it pretty interesting here. I just want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I want to find only the integer from this, I could say like slash d plus. If I say so, only the digits are matched. You understand the pattern over here, right?
No, Hari.
Do you see that I use something called D, right?
Yeah.
See, what I'm trying to do is I want to match only the digits over here. This is the basics of the grep command. Even in the grep command, this will work as you think. Like if you go with the even for grep command, the grep command also satisfy these principle. Like if you want to match any of the part, or if you want to match any of the pattern from the digit, still you can go with it. You see the different patterns over here, right? If you use grep pattern in the to the fullest, you will be able to understand it in a much better way. But still, this is the whole idea, holistic idea. It all boils down to the some concept called as a regular pattern. If you master the regular expression, then you are the king with the log any log file, because you will be able to deal with all sort of information with the regular expression. That's the whole idea. Clear, right?
Yeah, Hari.
I'm just searching for any good example for here.
So is there a way to find out the logs in my system? Is there a way to set up?
Sorry, come
Is there
again.
a way to set up? And if I want to see the some logs, I mean, like if I want to use all these patterns.
You should ask, rephrase your question, Vinod. Like, what is it you're exactly asking? It? Like, can you come again briefly explain about that?
Yeah, yeah. So let's say now we are seeing all these patterns, right? Using that grep command and other commands, these regular expressions and all. So
Okay.
is there a way to use all those? I mean, like if I want to practice it, how can I do that?
You have to download it. Like see the all the patterns is different part, and writing regular expressions is a different part, Vinod. So if you want to write a pattern for to extract the data, then you can have like lot of online tutorial on regular expression, how to write the regular expression. So that is one option. If you want to try out, or if you want to extract the data from your machine, then what you can do is you can install the Logstash in your computer, and you can write the relevant grok pattern. Then grok pattern will be able to extract the data from your machine. This is one part. Even though if you have a Logstash with you, you should know how to write the grep command or grok pattern, right? Then only you will be able to extract the data. So there are like two parts over here. Which part you will want to have it, or if you want to understand in a much better way?
I mean, like second one.
Like if you then you have to install the Logstash. If you install Logstash, it will help you to extract all sort of data from your machine.
Okay.
Clear, right?
Yes, Hari.
Now let's use the same word example. Let's see how it gets interpreted. I'm just pasting it over here. It's still a valid one. Do you see, right? All the group is being indicated with the color. Do you see the difference here, right? The B stands for white space. Clear?
Yeah.
You understood right till this point? Do you have any questions or doubt?
No, Hari. So if I want to extract the data, I need to learn all these patterns and regular expressions, right?
Definitely. You
Okay.
should know how to use it. You don't have to learn it entirely on your own, because these patterns are already there, right? You should know when to use a particular pattern. If you're extracting IP v6 or IPv4, you should know properly to extract it, right? Then only you will be able to extract it. So that that common sense, if you have it, then you can play around with Elasticsearch or the Logstash in a much easier way. Clear, right?
Yeah, Hari.
See, they even have it for the translation in the filter part. If you have a word called 100, they can transform it to a different way. So these are the different steps. Output part, you see, like you can store it as a CSV file, or you can even send it to us as an output. So its output format is also like a hell of a lot of output format is also there. Clear, right? In this part,
Yeah, Hari.